Hi all! One more super useful tool we can use for analysis is the data grouping. You can think of grouping as a quick way to hide and unhide columns, rows and columns. You can select the rows you want to group and go to Data and then Group. This will group the rows together. I can open and close the group by clicking on this plus minus sign. I'm going to create 3 groups, one for each restaurant. I'm going to leave the top row of each entry out of the group because in this way the top row will still be visible even when we hide the group. This makes it quick and easy to hide and unhide large parts of the data, so we can focus on the part of the data that we need, and we could just open up the other parts of the data as it becomes useful. We can also add groups to columns in exactly the same way as we add groups to rows. For example, if you want to create a quick way to hide the recipes and the spicy column, we can just select this column and click on group. Now we can easily hide it by clicking on the minus sign. Or if we want to see it again, we can unhide it by clicking on the plus sign. Note that we can also add groups within groups. Now look at these numbers. If we click on 1, it collapses all the groups, so in other words, it hides all the groups. If we click on 2, we only open the largest groups, but the smallest groups will still remain closed. And if we click on 3, in this case it will open all the groups we have. You can use this to quickly jump between levels of detail in whatever data you're presenting or examining. One thing that is very useful is to use this subtotal. Subtotal can be used to automatically add groups, and not only does it add groups, but it also adds a subtotal for each group. So, first of all, select the table and click on Subtotal. A dialog appears. The first field is at each change in. Here we pick one of the headings. The algorithm will go through the table, and every time there is a change in the value underneath this heading, it will add a group and a subtotal. So if we pick restaurant, it will add a subtotal here, here, every time the value restaurant changes, because that's where the cell value changes. If we picked spicy, it would add the subtotal here, 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 etc. And if we picked recipe, it would add a subtotal at every single line, which in this case is not really useful. Anyway, next we have function. We can pick how the subtotal will be calculated. There are all sorts of options like sum, count, average, and more. And then in this field, we pick for which heading the subtotal is calculated. We can pick one or more headings. The remaining options speak for themselves, I think. So that's all for now. In the next video, I'm going to do some exercises involving only grouping. So I'm going to see you in those videos. See you then. Bye bye.